Hey, everybody. Is Anne here, as always. I promised you to come live today, and I promised to give you the opportunity to meet some of our great experiencers, since that is the focus right now. And we are streaming right now to YouTube, but also to my Facebook page. So for those of you who watching this in Facebook, we can't see your comments, but if you leave a comment, I will go back later and try to answer those. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube, you can actually use the chat and leave comments and questions if you have to. Not have to, if you want to, right? So what is this all about? Very soon, I'm going to bring out 5 of the great experiencers, and the great experiencers are obviously the knitters in our 1-year deep dive program, where we focus on Norwegian knitting and Norwegian knitting only. Really. So what's going to happen is that we are going to do a little conversation about what's happening. We have prepared some stuff that we want to share with you, and they want to tell you what their experience with the great experience. And you can ask your questions. But as I said, the Facebook questions we can't see, okay? The YouTube questions we can see if you are watching there and want to leave a comment. Let's welcome to the stage Brenda, Noelle, Nikki, Christy, and Jan. I'm the 6th, 5 of the brilliant great experiencers, right? And what we're going to do first of all is that I'm going to give them all a short little minute to introduce themselves, and we're going to do the rounds, and they are going to maybe let us know what inspired them to join the great experience. I'm going to start this first one. I'm going to do that in right order. I'm going to start with Brenda on this one.
Hi, I'm Brenda. I'm from the U.S. state of Missouri. I've been recently retired, and in anticipation of retiring, I looked for a hobby and have been knitting for the last 10 years. What inspired me to join the Great Experience was that I realized when I retired, all my knitting buddies were at work, and I didn't have anybody in my inner circle who could get excited about new projects and things like that. So I started joining knit-alongs and taking a couple of courses online, and I came across one of Anne's free classes, and I just loved her teaching style. And so I got hooked, took one course, and then jumped right into the Great Experience.
You did, didn't you? And you're ready for the level 3 this autumn, aren't you?
Yes, I am ready.
Cool. Thank you. Next, we are going to talk to Noelle.
Hi, I'm Noelle, and I live in Washington State. I've been an X-ray tech for 35 years, and I've always loved creating and doing things with my hands. And knitting has always been one of those things that I could not do. I could do everything else, no problem, but knitting always escaped me. But then I found continental knitting, and came across Anne's site, gorgeous site. And also I really, really wanted to learn color work. And so I taught myself knitting, basic knitting. I made myself a little hat and then a cowl, and then I joined Anne, and the magic happened. And I'm hooked.
You are, aren't you?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, and you are one of those who you just jumped in, didn't you, on the color work, on the Great Experience?
Yes, head first. I started with level 3. Yeah.
And it
like I said, I made this little cowl, and then I started the hardest project you have. And I succeeded. I'm succeeding.
You are. You
I
definitely
am.
are.
And I
Yeah.
never could have done that without Anne and everybody in the group.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you. And get back to you hopefully soon. Next, I want to go to Jan. And Jan and I have a little feedback. So I'm going to be all quiet when she talks because then it will be okay.
Hi, I'm Jan Griffin. I live in the Sierra Foothills in California, 45 minutes from anywhere. So I don't have a community around me, don't have anybody that knits, and I'm retired. So it's been wonderful to find Anne and to join this great group of people that are supportive in every single way. I have knit since I was 8 years old, and I'm not going to tell you how old I am now, but that was a very long time ago. And I found Anne on Facebook when she had a free class on how to make your sweaters fit, because I could knit great things, but they didn't fit. And I had tried to make a color work sweater for my then 4-year-old granddaughter. I made it 3 times, ripped it out 3 times. And now with Anne, I'm making sweaters that fit the first time. And it makes sense. It's wonderful. It's just wonderful. Thank you.
So thank you. I'll have to mute you before I talk because then it's going to be the backlog. Yeah. But the feedback. Thank you. I'm really happy to have you. Really, really. So next, let's move to Christy. She's an oldie, and that has nothing to do with her age. I'm going to explain that awfully soon.
Hi, Anne. My name is Christy. I've been knitting since I was a little kid, but was never very good at it. And I wanted to do color work back in the 70s. And there were no instructions for continental color work. So I switched to the English method. And then about 4 years ago, I was looking for Norwegian patterns. And I was scrolling the internet and I found Anne's group and I signed up for her mitten bonanza. And that was about 3 years ago. And Anne, of course, thought that I should knit continental. It didn't work. It was terrible. So she encouraged me, go ahead and do it English. So I did. And then I joined the level 2 group. And that's when I really started knitting continental. And it took me a while to adjust, but that was 3 years ago. And now I'm doing really great. And Anne and this group has just meant the world to me. It's my socialization. It's my, it's what I do when I'm bored. It's just been marvelous. And I make beautiful things. And it's all thank you, Anne.
Thank you, Christy. Thank you. Thank you so much. Actually, the mitten bonanza is, that was in January. So it is almost 3.5 years since that. Just, you know, so you know.
Okay.
So let's finish off this little round here with Nikki. I muted you. Is it working? Yeah,
I've unmuted myself. Hello, everyone. Okay. I'm Nikki. I'm from Ireland, live on a farm. No knitters around here at all. And I've knit since about the age of 6, 7, but it's mostly iron knitting I did. I was interested in the Fair Isle, and then I did a couple of Fair Isle jumpers, but then I saw Anne's level 2 course, the festival sweater, so on continental knitting. So I decided, right, here goes, we'll try it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Must be nearly 4 years ago. And I've been with her since. And I've done so much knitting, not for the last while, but I have done a lot of knitting. One was the Eternity shawl, which I love, but I'm only quarter of the way through it, but we'll get there. And since then, she talked about starting up the experience, and I joined, and still there, and will be there.
Lovely.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Nikki. Thank you. Thank you so much. The thing is, Nikki and Christy are, I have told that and said that a couple of times, that there are a handful of people that came to me a couple of years ago saying, hey, we want more. Nikki and Christy are, you know, amongst those people that said, hey, we've done everything, we want more. And then the great experience came along as a result of that. So they are partly to blame for all this in a positive way, right? So thank you. So let's see, no questions this far. So we'll just continue. What we are going to do is that I'm going to go to Christy because first, because what's going to happen, what one of my pillars is, you know, everything I do is very colored by the Norwegian culture and history kind of thing. And I know that Christy has Norwegian ancestors. There are more people that have that in our group, quite a few, and quite a few have not. But I want that to be a big part of the whole experience, no matter what level you are on in my world, really. But how would you say, Christy, that the great experience has enriched your, you know, your understanding of Norway and our culture and our history, sustainability, all that kind of stuff, you know?
Well, I remember as a child sitting on my grandmother's lap, and she would tell me all about living in Norway and taking the ship to the United States. And I always wanted to go there and see, who are these people? And I knew I had a lot of family there, but they didn't keep in contact. So last April, thanks to Anne and these classes, I finally got the Get Up and Go to Get Up and Go. And so I spent 2 weeks in Norway, and basically I went yarn shop, yarn shop, yarn shop. I had to ship the yarn home. There's no way I could get it home. But I did find where my family was from, and I actually spent 2 days in that town. And, you know, this is all just a childhood dream come true for me. And it has been amazing. And I got to tell you, Norway is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. I think actually you guys think it's more gorgeous than we do. Having said that, I'm awfully proud of my country. So you know that, and I love my mountains. So there we go. But I also got the opportunity to meet you, Christy, which was really, really cool. I love that. That was fun. So anyone who comes to Norway, just let me know. If time is right, we will meet. Thank you. I'm so happy that you was, you know, that this encouraged you to finally get, you know, up from that chair and go to Norway and see, you know, with your own eyes.
Well, listening to you describe it and talk about the culture and everything, it lit a fire. So I had to go.
There we go. There we go. So that's the dangerous part about joining the Great Experience, isn't it? It might be extremely costly for you because you might be traveling to the other side of the world.
Every penny very well spent. Very well spent.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Christy. And next, I'm going to move to Jan. And I want you to, because you have also said that, because you said that in introduction, you kind of talked, you said that you've been knitting since you were a small girl, but you also kept repeating, telling me that I'm learning so much new stuff. And what would you say are the most valuable skills and techniques that you have learned over the last, since you joined? I'm going to unmute you in a second. There we go.
I think actually it's attitude. And although I've learned edges on that surprised me completely how wonderful they were, and I could see the application in places that you put them, what's changed the very most is my attitude towards knitting, and maybe even towards life, in that I am slowing down, I'm being thoughtful and mindful. I am realizing when I'm probably too tired to be knitting, And rather than pushing through to the next decrease or the next increase or the next color change, I put it down and then I go back and I don't make mistakes. So I would say it's not just my knitting that's changed, it is me that has changed. And I think that's all directly related to the attitude and the way in which you teach and you're supporting people interact with those of us in your communities. So I'm like, obviously I'm a fan, absolutely a fan.
Thank you so much. It gives me goosebumps when you say that. Thank you. Because that is also a big part of being in my world, is to make sure that we take care of each other, but also take care of yourself. And that we live by in my community. And every time someone comes in, it's like, I'm so behind. I'm so behind. I'm so behind. The thing is, in Anne's world, you're not behind. You're never behind. You can see Nikki smiling. You can see Christy smiling. You can see them all, smiling. No one is behind. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. That's the thing. You are going to get to where you shall be in the right time. So we are not stressing. We're not comparing ourselves to anyone. We are not behind. We are doing this at our own pace. Having said that, obviously the courses have to run, but that doesn't mean that you necessarily have to follow the pace of the course, because you have all the time in the world. Not necessarily, but we have a lot of time, and we're going to make sure that we enjoy it. So thank you so much, Jan. I want to go to Noel with the next one. And what we're doing right now is we are actually moving through my pillars. My pillars are, knitting, Norwegian culture and history, community, self-care, mental aspect of knitting, sustainability. We're going to get to that. And obviously knitting, So we're going to move through all this with all these small little questions and feedbacks. Noel, how would you say that the sense of community in this membership has impacted your knitting over the last year? I actually muted you. There you go.
The sense of community, it is, everyone is so positive. Everybody is a cheerleader for everyone, no matter what our knitting looks like. And if we talk down about our knitting, somebody's going to say, oh, no, it looks wonderful. It's beautiful. Your colors. And there's always support if you have questions. And there's so many different ways to get the support, whether it's the online meetings that we have or the different, the groups online. I can't think of what they're called all of a sudden. Sorry.
Circles.
Thank you. Yes. And there's always somebody there to help. And it's just, you're never alone. You're never alone with your knitting. There's always somebody there for you. And it's not like I'm sitting in my home knitting and have to look somewhere. It's just, I always feel like I'm surrounded with wonderful people and knitters, and everybody's so wonderful. And it's just a happy, happy place.
I love that. And that's my goal with the whole thing. It's supposed to be a happy, happy place.
And
we
it
are
is.
On the half full glass, not the half empty glass in my world. And that's so important. It makes it makes the difference how you approach things. So there you go. Thank you, Noel. I think actually on this here, I want to hear from Brenda as well on this one. I haven't unmuted you yet. There you go. No.
I'll unmute myself.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So I joined early summer, and I remember my first meeting, and I was in there, and everybody seemed to know everybody, and I felt like I was the the newbie in the room. But by the second meeting, I felt like the gang. So I have to, everything that Noelle said, I have to reiterate. I think the nice thing about the community, other than everybody being positive and finding whatever fault you find with yourself, they find the positive in you. Or they help you fix whatever is bothering you. But the interesting thing is that Anne and her knitting coaches and the community are always there. And so if I've posted a question, depending on where I post it, I usually have my answer in an hour because it's daytime somewhere in the Great Experience and somebody's looking. So it's just been really nice to have that community of buddies. And like I said, I just started this summer, and I feel like I'm part of the gang.
You are, and that's the thing. Since you said newbies, we need to spend 30 seconds on that. I mentioned the oldies, and now Brenda mentioned the newbies, and in it's me, I know, but it's just something that I can't help myself from saying. But I refer to everyone who's been in the Great Experience for a while. They are, automatically put in the category of being oldies. Doesn't really matter how old you are or not, but you are an oldie. If you're a newbie, have just joined. Brenda is, yes, she joined in, I think you joined in June, late May, maybe, somewhere around there. And yes, she might be a newbie, but she's awfully close to being put into the oldies group, really, because she also done a couple of courses with me, so I kind of know, getting to know her. So every one of you who joins us now, you are going to be newbies for a couple of weeks, and then you're going to be part of the group. Absolutely. So I think that sums it up, doesn't it? That is kind of like it's kind of like I just need to make a difference between them when I talk to you guys. So anyway, I would like to move on from that to Jan, actually, to go back to Jan, and how, the learning environment. You touched on it before, but I would like you to, would you like to tell us a little bit what you think about, the actual learning environment and how it works, and what your thoughts around that? No, that was the wrong one. This one.
What is different from all of the other courses, teachers, conventions, everything else that I've gone to is that it is so thoroughly and completely, the teaching is so thoroughly and completely available on an ongoing basis. At 3 o'clock in the morning, if I am up and I want to be able to work on this problem, I know there's a tutorial somewhere. I just have to go and look and find it. I'm one of those people that you give me an instruction in a pattern, and I can think of 3 or 4 ways that instruction is meant, which is a problem if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and your local yarn shop isn't open. So what I can do is I can go back into the pattern, because the patterns are so very well written that it's clear. And if I'm still floundering, I can go into that circle or that place in the library, and where the tutorials are. And these are all little video clips, a couple of minutes. They don't go on forever and ever and ever. And, they're clear. You can see what's going on. The descriptions are concise. And I have to really, really support what Noelle said about everything is positive. I can give you the name of 3 well-known knitting instructors that positive is not a part of their vocabulary. And that, don't need that. and emphasizes that too. This is supposed to be a positive experience. We are all wonderful people, and we're all going to feel wonderful about ourselves. And if you can't do that, you don't belong here. So the teaching, the instructions, the support, it's all there. And I haven't ever taken anything over the years that has been as comprehensive and thorough and understandable as this is. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, there you go. Thank you. It's not meant to be, you know, a totally glorification of everything, because I mean we all have mistakes and faults, right? But I think the bottom line of all this is that we have created a community, and the community is like, I can give you the tools, but the community is because of these wonderful people that you see here, because there's no community without people, and the people in it will have to be just as wonderful as I expected them to be, and they are. So we are around 40 people right now, and we have the most beautiful little community. We have a new intake going right now, and there are 10 people, there are 10 seats up for grabs. A few of those have already been taken. We are closing on Thursday, so if you are interested, you will have to think about it thoroughly and make a decision before Thursday at midnight. But before we get that far, I think I have a whole lot of more questions that we were talking about, but I think this is kind of giving you a gist of what is going on and how people in the community, inside the community, think about this group. So I think we're going to leave it like this, because I mean, our plan was to keep it to half an hour, and we're going to go over for a couple of minutes, but because I want to have, I want really to do the round the table thing again, and I want to, you know, each and one of you let the people that are sitting out there thinking about joining or not joining, is there an advice that you have to them? What would you suggest? I know that you're all going to say sign up, but why would you like them to join us? You know, or what is your biggest takeaway that they should use as their argument when they go in, right? Nikki, I'd like to start with you on this one.
Yeah, I find when I'm there, no one is sort of looking down at you. If you're having a question, you get a load of answers, and you don't feel stupid asking any question. Everyone is there for everyone else. And of course, Anne, what can I say? She's a fantastic teacher, plus Shona, and she's another knitting coach. She's there for everyone as well. So it really is a fantastic experience. I have been in other places with knitting things, and really, you were made feel small. If you didn't do what they said, you shouldn't be there. You were given out to, even though you were an adult. But here, everybody is so supportive. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you for being part of my world, Nikki. And you mentioned Shona, which is one of the striking coaches. She's been with me forever, and she joined as a coach in my system earlier this year. We also had a second one coming on that came on this summer. Her name is Steph. So in addition to me, we have two people that help out. You know, not only are we helping out each other, but they are, you know, given the task of having a look at what's happening and then pop in and help people if needed. So Steph and Shona is doing that in the community section of our community, because we have different sections in there. Anyway, thank you, Nikki. Next, Christy, what would you say?
Oh gosh, it's like everybody in the community lives next door. And if I need something, I can just run next door and I can get help. I can get whatever I need. And like everybody says, the positive feedback about everything, even if you don't think so. It just keeps you going, keeps you motivated. And of course, Anne, you're always there. And you live next door to me. Did you know that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. Earlier this year, or was it last year? Christy sent a message to her sister on Messenger, but she missed that and she sent it to me, and it said, "Are we going for a walk this afternoon or not?" And I said, "Yes, I'm coming, but I need a few more days."
Fat fingers, fat fingers. But the other thing about the community is that I've developed really bad arthritis in my hands. And so there are times that I can't knit. And the thing about Anne's website is, even if you have to put your project down for 2 or 3 months, you can pick it up and the tutorials and everything you need is still there. And if you're really bottom out, you talk to the group or you talk to Anne herself, and there you go, you're right back. And so, don't let anything get you down. You can do it.
Exactly. And that is the thing. It's you can do it. Thank you, Christy. Thank you. I just saw a comment from in the chat. How do you join the group? What I suggest is I have entered a link where you can book a meeting with me. So you can book a one-to-one with me and have a talk. Or if you are ready to join right away, you can also go here. So there are 2 links in the chat for those of you who are interested. I highly recommend to book a one-to-one with me, because that kind of settles any doubts that you might have or not have. Okay, just to say that. So we've been through Nikki and we've been through Christy, and the next is Jan. There.
So I also live on what in California we call a ranch, but I think probably every place else in the world they call it a farm. And if you're going to be a part of this lifestyle, you are value oriented, because that, it has to make sense on paper and pencil. And there's no question that this is the greatest value for, in my case, dollars that there is to spend. You're not seeing a pattern and buying the pattern and saying, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to build something out of this. And in the future, you have them there. They're available. If you want to make a mitten, you've got a pattern. If you want to make a cowl, you've got to make a pattern. Want a baby blanket, you can make a pattern. You want to make a bag, you can make a pattern. It's all there and available to you. And it's there on an ongoing basis. So it's the best value, period, that I have found for anything. And I think anybody that knits and wants to knit better and do things that they're truly proud of want to be in the great experience. That's what I think.
Thank you. And that is kind of there. That is also kind of the thing when I went out with from the very beginning. It's, I want you to make garments that become heirlooms, garments that you are proud of, garments that stand the wear of time, and enjoy it on the way, and get a new group of people into your world and learn something new at the same time. So it sums it up really. And it's a good thing that what you said there, because it's vital to me that you enjoy the ride and that you make beautiful things at the end, which you are proud of. Absolutely. Noelle, I just have to. I am teasing her a bit with her name, because I think about Christmas every time we talk, and we talk quite often.
So you'll never forget me.
Yeah, exactly.
for one reason or another. Why to do this? The
A last piece of advice for those who are on the fence.
do it. There's you might be overwhelmed with all the information you get, but that's okay. You don't have to go through all of it. But just the fact of where I started and where I am now, you know, I went from making a cowl and then I made a sweater. I made a sweater. And I love it, and it fits, and well, less sleeves, you know, the sleeves are a thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, sleeves. Well, if you join, you're gonna hear about sleeves. We have this returning issue with sleeves, always. Not negatively. It's just we have making fun of it. Yes.
But it's just I never could have done this by myself. I don't think. Not this. I'm just
You might, you know, the thing is, you might be able to do it because there's a lot out there on YouTube. Let's be frank. I mean, you can find almost anything you want on YouTube. One, you would have to spend a whole lot of time researching. You would have to make a whole lot of time confirming that what you found is actually valid. And you would not have our wonderful group.
Right. But also, as we're doing this, you give out just a little bit of the pattern. You don't overwhelm us. We, for the most part, knit together. Some of us aren't as fast, some of us are, and that's okay. And we encourage each other. And, you know, and if we make mistakes, that's a chance to learn.
I love it. I love it.
So much.
The ripping is part of the journey, isn't it?
What's that?
The ripping is part of the journey, isn't it?
It is. A chance to rip is a chance to learn. This has just been such an enjoyable year. I just re-upped for my second year, and I would be lost without everyone. This is a joy in my life.
I love that. I love that. I don't love that you would be lost without everyone, but I love that you appreciate it so much that you joined us for a second year. Thank you. Thank you, Noelle. Finally, Brenda. Yeah.
I think if you're on the fence, then all you need to do is take one of Anne's free courses or one of her other level courses, and you'll get hooked. It's just really, really nice to have people doing the same things that you're doing, and you can, if you're slower, then you get to see their progress and what you're about to make. I think the other thing is sometimes, you know, if we're making a cowl and you don't need a cowl, there's always something else to make. If you think the project that's going on right now is too difficult to you, like that lovely thing in the back of Anne, she's got an alternative for you. So I really think I really can't explain. But I know that if you join, you won't be sorry. You'll be very delighted, like the rest of us.
Exactly. That's the point. Thank you. Thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you. You know, this is just, as I said, we can go on forever. I see Janet or is it Jeanette? It's actually Jeanette. She's, you know, but I keep calling her Janet. It's Jeanette. She's in the Great Experience and she's in her second year. She's approaching her third year in December. And she said joining this group is one of the best things I've done for myself. And Christy just second that, you know, and so did Jan in there. I can see them. And I saw a finger from Nikki. So there you go. Just to confirm that, you know, we are having an amazing time in there. So if you are on the fence, now is the time to make some decisions. The links are in there. I see Deb in there as well. Deb joined last night. And we had a call yesterday, a one-to-one, and she got her answers and she joined. And for those of you who want to talk to me, I mean, you can if you want to, just if you feel that you have enough information. The link is in the chat there. Use that one and just sign up. If you feel that you want to talk to me before you do that, to have some, ask questions answered, or to make a decision, then book a meeting with me and we'll get through those, and then you can make a decision after that, right? That's all I can say. We are welcoming you with open arms. We have more spaces and have space for more people, and we take care of our people. And if you are willing to join us, you are more than welcome. So with that, I am going to, there's going to be a few things happening. I mean, for those of you who are on my list, you will get quite a few emails over the next few days, because that's the way it works, because we're closing at midnight on Thursday, this coming Thursday. But there will be stuff coming before then, so we can think about it. But book that call if you are thinking about it. And for those of you who join, I'll see you on the inside. For those of you who decide against it, it's totally cool. And I might see you somewhere else, okay? Because I'm not going anywhere, and you're going to get free stuff, courses, and all the stuff as well as we move along. I want to wish you all a happy Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone. And you guys, you stay.